Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation. So for all you Audie fans, I just left him about 30 seconds ago. He had been lying on the bedroom floor, which is what he does when he wants me to pity him. He was sort of partially under the bed, but mostly in the line of traffic. So if I wanted to walk into the door and go anywhere, I would have to step over him. Or, in the case of what I actually did, I would have to pick him up, snuggle him a little, put him on the bed, and turn the overhead fan on. That seems to have made him quite happy. Now, it's a warm day. There's not a lot of a breeze, even though there's a window in there that's wide open. So he was a little cooler down at the floor level. However, up on the bed, it's soft, it's comfy. He's got all of the bedding to curl up in. And I will show you this later, but I keep a tremendous amount of fluffy, comfy stuff on that bed just for my cat. So I figure, yeah, we'll enhance it with a little bit of an overhead breeze. So when I put him on the bed, he didn't leave. He was like, well, pet me some more. But he decided to stay. So I'm not sure we're going to see him. I think he's quite comfortable where he is, in which case, fine, absolutely fine. I get it. A little cat is warm and needs a little breeze on his tummy. So we'll have to see how it works out. We're going to take a look at the intro, and we will be right back. So I didn't write today's video. I didn't even choose the topic. And this is sort of a cheat because after all, I'm putting my name on it. But here's where the video came from. One of our viewers last weekend posted a comment. I'm going to read it to you. And that's where the videos come from. So her topic, she wrote the video. Madam Robinson. I had some thoughts while watching this. Please be kind, team. I don't always do this. Today, I'm in PJs. 1. Keep your ironing board or steamer handy. 2. Prepare the outfit for the next day in advance, including underwear and jewelry. 3. Make certain you have proper lighting in your closet. 4. Keep your jewelry clean and polished. I had to have my bathroom floor redone due to a slow leak. I had the tile extended into the closets so my Roomba can vacuum in there also. What an amazing addition. Thank you for all of your help. So that's where I got the video topic. Now, I think all 4 of her points are excellent ideas. Very good. I also like the get a little Roomba to clean your closet, but that's going to have to go on my wish list. The one I wanted to pick out was her second point, number 2, because if you do that, you can probably eliminate most, if not all, of the rest of the suggestions, which is not to say they're not good suggestions, but number 2 is key. Number 2 is so important that if that's the only thing you do, you won't have to do anything else. Now, obviously, those of us who are diligent and ambitious are going to do everything else, but let's take a look at suggestion number 2. Lay out your clothing the night before. Now, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and when I was small, because I had siblings, it saved a lot of chaos in the morning. And nobody wants to start the day off running around the house, screaming and yelling, he stole my socks, where's my lunch, etc., etc. So this cut down on problems when I was a little goober. As I got older, of course, being a girl, my brothers didn't do this, by the way. This is strictly a girl thing. And I can't say it was strictly a girl thing from the 1960s, because I bet girls in the 1950s did it. I bet girls in the 1970s did it. I wouldn't be surprised if girls today are still doing it. So I would get on the phone with my girlfriends, and we have this little clique of friends, and we would all have to discuss what we were wearing, so that we all dressed very much alike. So if somebody was wearing a skirt and blouse, everybody had to wear a skirt and blouse, or we had to talk her into wearing a dress. I know, we were insane. We were little girls in the 1960s. I think that's the very definition of insanity. So, yes, at that time, prepping my next day's clothing was a community event. I had to get everybody's opinion on it, and I would talk to 2 or 3 girlfriends, and I have to call a 4th girlfriend, go back to the first one and say, well, this is what Donna said. We were nuts. But the habit stuck. To this day, I prep my clothing in advance, and I am not alone. So let's take a look at David Beckham.
So those are my outfits for the rest of the week.
Wait. Explain that to me.
I prep my week. Yeah. It used to be just the night before, but...
Is that a newish obsession?
Yeah, it is actually.
Huh.
Okay, now, much as I love and admire David Beckham's OCD, it's over the top. It really is. The man needs therapy. I mean, I will look at his closets and his drawers with lust and envy, but still, there's a problem there. Now, I would not prep my clothing a week in advance, mostly because where I live, I can't. I don't know about people in other parts of the country, but here, the weather is just not that predictable. We can get a weather forecast that is good for 2, maybe 3 days. By the time you get to day 4, no, all bets are off. And because David Beckham is in the UK, and it rains there, like a lot. It rains in the UK more than it rains where I live, and it rains a lot here. So I can't imagine that unless he is prepping every single day of the week for a thunderstorm, he's not making changes. I mean, he would have to be. So yes, David is taking it to extremes. But I do the same within reason. And as you probably gathered from that little video clip, he used to just do it the night before. This expanding it to a week, this is a whole new thing for him. He should have left well enough alone. So, I still do this, and there are some incredible benefits to this. So, let's start with, do you need to get out your ironing board or your steamer in the morning? Not if you have prepped your clothing the night before. Anything that's wrinkled, you might not even need to steam it or iron it. The vast majority of my clothing requires nothing more than a little spritz with a water bottle, and I keep a little water bottle, a little spray bottle, in my bathroom, because I will take the clothing from the closet into the bathroom on the hanger, spritz, 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 hang it up on the shower rod, and I got nothing to worry about. Everything will dry out in about 20 minutes, but since I do this the night before, I've got at least 8 or 10 hours for everything to dry out completely. And that is all anything needs. Now, that is my wardrobe. Some people have highly starched cotton items in their wardrobe. Yes, they do need to be pressed. I get that. But I would also say that for most of us, it's probably not going to be necessary. And if you prep the night before, that's when the steamer and the ironing board come out. You don't need it the next morning. You've already taken out everything you need, and you know that it is wrinkle-free. Also, it gives you an opportunity, doing it the night before, to check and make sure there are no loose buttons. There's no loose stitching on the hems. Nothing is damaged or fraying or whatever. Because the truth is, I have pulled things out of my closet, not recently, because I've gotten much better about this, but I've pulled something out of the back of my closet that I might not have worn for 3 or 4 months, just to discover there's a reason I haven't worn it for 3 or 4 months, because it needs repairs, or, it's just not looking quite the way I remember it. And that falls into my next point. If you are pulling clothing out to wear tomorrow, hopefully you're doing it the night before. By the time I'm through, I'm hoping to convince you. You got it out, and if you haven't worn it in a while, or maybe it's a brand new piece that you are incorporating into an outfit, it's like, oh, I've got this great outfit and a brand new pair of shoes, so yes, that's what we're wearing tomorrow. You take it out the night before, it's going to give you an opportunity to try the outfit, test it. Do these pants work well with those shoes? Because that's something very interesting that I'm seeing a lot lately. For some reason, young people are wearing pants that drag on the floor, which, first of all, is the best way to ruin your clothing, because your clothing was not meant to be dragged along the sidewalks or the pavement or through the grass. So you're either going to have bad stains, or you're actually going to have damaged clothing if that's the way you're wearing it. But if, let's say, you have a pair of trousers that are long, but you've always worn them with very high heels, but hey, tomorrow there's this new pair of ballet flats in your closet that's just demanding to be worn. Yeah, you could find that the pants that looked great with the high heels are just dragging in a pair of flats. You could find that the outfit that looks great, be it pants, skirt, whatever, with a pair of flats, doesn't look quite right with a pair of heels. Now, I see this more with trousers because people are wearing trousers at different lengths today. And not all of those trouser lengths look great with different heights of shoe heels. So let me just show you some pictures. We got trousers that are just way too long here. They are just literally dragging in the gutter. And then we have a pair of pants that is at a good length, but with this large pair of chunky little booty heels. No. Those heels would probably do a lot better with one of those dragging in the gutter pair of trousers. The shorter length would go well with a nice pair of ballet flats. The fact is, it's easy to make mistakes like this unless you can actually see what you look like. So I would say, you're doing things up the night before? No, you don't need to try on every outfit. If you're wearing a skirt that you have worn 30 times already, it's one of your go-tos, and you've just changed up the blouse, but the blouse is a style you've worn 30 times before. It's just maybe the cut is a little different, the color or print is a little different. No, because you already have a very clear idea. It's mostly when you're incorporating something new or something different that, yeah, it doesn't hurt to Oh, by the way, that's not a motorcycle, that's farm equipment. Giant thing, looks like it came down from, Mars or something. When it's something new, when you haven't put this particular outfit together before, might be worth taking a look. Also, if you have questions about the outfit, if you're not 100% sure, because maybe the weather report says there's a 55% chance of rain, and you're thinking to yourself, I really, really, really want to wear those suede shoes, and if that 55% drops to 45%, this is what I'm going to go for. Don't be afraid to take out the basics of an item and add a few substitute pieces. Just, maybe I'll wear these shoes, maybe I'll wear something else, but get them all ready so you don't have to go looking around for shoes and you're already very clear about what will go with your outfit. So I think that is another advantage to putting things together the night before. But let me give you a practical example. What I am wearing right now, I wore this to my physical therapist's office this morning. So initially, when I got up, I had this idea that I was going to wear long pants with this here. This is a tank top. We have a scarf because, yeah, it's me. You got to know I have a scarf. This is Bill Blass, I think. Yes, Bill Blass. I like this. Red and blue. The shirt is a linen blend. And I thought, well, that'll be cool. But then I decided to go over to shorts instead. And ordinarily, I don't do that. I am not out on the streets in shorts because I have large scars on both of my knees, and one of those scars is only 3 months old, so it's still red and angry looking. It's like, if I walk up to you, trust me, your eye is going to focus on that scar before anything else because it's so conspicuous right now. But I'm going to my physical therapist's office. It's not like they don't know. I've had knee replacement surgery, and it was very, very warm, so I decided I would switch out to shorts, and that necessitated switching out my shoes and switching out my socks. Yeah, the entire bottom half of my outfit got switched out. But because I knew this was a possibility the night before, everything was laid out, and I did not have to stress or fuss. I did not have to stand in front of the mirror saying, I don't want to wear these pants today. I'd much rather wear a skirt because that way, my physical therapist is going to easily be able to see what my knee looks like. And, because that's what his job is. His job is to deal with the knee. So it was an easy transition. I find that most of the time when I over-prep the night before, when I do not leave myself a lick of room to make a change, that's when I get myself into trouble. So I will frequently look at a dodgy weather report. Maybe it'll rain, maybe it'll be sunny, and prep accordingly. Well, that outfit that I was going to wear, if it was going to be sunny, no, that's going back. I'm going to pull something else out that I can easily switch with other items in case it rains. So that is another benefit of doing all of this the night before. If I had to do this when I am up in the morning getting ready to leave, because I'm not organized in the morning. And of course I have a cat who is constantly demanding attention. It's like, pick me up, pet me, I need more food, put treats on my food. I have to go out. Wait, I want to come back in. I didn't want to go out quite so quickly. Give me a few minutes and then I'll go out. That's what my life is like. So no, better I have all of this sorted out the night before so that getting dressed in the morning is a 5-minute job. Do I plan out my jewelry? No, I don't. Now, Madame Robinson probably plans out her jewelry, but I tend not to, mostly because I don't wear a great deal. I was going to say I don't wear a great deal of jewelry, but that's not true. I wear a lot of earrings. I wear earrings all the time. And I wear a lot of them. I'm wearing 6 earrings right now. So, and that isn't even my maximum. When I am going max on these earrings, I'll wear as many as 12. I don't think I've ever exceeded 12. But ordinarily, what I am wearing is a scarf. And yes, the scarf is part of my outfit, and I will pick it out in advance. I will also decide which bag I am taking in advance, because a lot of that depends on where I'm going, what I'm doing. Do I need a bag big enough so I can throw a bottle of soda in it? Well, that's going to eliminate half my bags, and in fact, I might have to change the whole outfit just because I want a certain bag over the others. This is a process, and you see, I have this fantasy. Well, you know this, because I share this with you. I want a completely mix and match wardrobe. I want every top to go with every bottom, every tank top to go with every top, with every scarf. I want that. Is that ever going to happen? Absolutely not. The only way I could ever do that is if I condensed my wardrobe down to maybe 3 or 4 colors and a very limited range of styles. That's the only way you can pull that off. Am I willing to do that? I am not. Do I want that? Oh my, yes, absolutely. At the moment, I do have things that go with most of what is in my closet. The vast majority of what's in there goes with the vast majority of everything else. But some things, hello, fire engine red tank top. Nope, limited number of things this goes with. Fortunately for me, the scarf is one of them. So, despite the fact that I have a much easier time coordinating than most people do, because again, huge amount of stuff goes with a huge amount of other stuff, I still do not have a perfectly mix and match wardrobe. I can go into the closet and I can probably find 3 or 4 scarves in the same sort of red and blue colorway, only because, by the way, red and blue is the one color combination I can do this with in my wardrobe. For some reason, blue scarves almost always have red in them. Can I do that? Yes, I can. But if this were green and brown, could I do it? Nope. I might have 2 scarves that would go with green and brown. This is one of those, just a lucky coincidence things. So I have to be able to prepare for the possibility that I might have to start from scratch. Do I want to do that first thing in the morning when a cat is rubbing up against my ankles and wailing because he would like treats on his breakfast? No, that's not going to happen. It's too much chaos. It's too much like that chaos when I was a small child, listening to my brothers saying, I can only find one of my shoes, or he's wearing my socks, Mom, make him take them off. Yeah, no. My patience for that was exhausted somewhere around 1966. So, yeah, coming back anytime soon? Oh, not likely. So when I look at the benefits, totally outweigh the liabilities. Now, the final point that Madam Robinson had raised was about good lighting in your closet, and I agree with that 100%. Is that going to do me any good? Nope. Trust me, I am just as blind in broad daylight as I am in the dark at midnight. For me, and that is only because of my peculiar circumstances, a lot of closet illumination is worthless. I go on the computer And you know this because I've told you this. I have my entire wardrobe in file folders. So I go shopping pretty much online. Well, it's not online, but it's on my computer. I'll open a file folder, open a folder that says tops, look through which one do I want to wear. Flip over, scarves, which one do I want to wear? I do not have to do this in person. I can do it on the computer, make my decisions, and then go in and get things out of the closet. And because, it's not like I don't know I'm blind. I am very clear about this. Everything in my closet is very well organized. So once I've figured out which top I want, I know exactly the section of the closet I'm going to find it in. So I go in there, and yes, more than once I have had to take out 3 or 4 different tops until I've located the one I want. But it's not, well, I was going to say it's not that much trouble, but the reality is it's not that much more out of my way than anything like this would be, given the fact that I can't see very well. So, yeah, I'm always going to get things wrong sometimes. I'm always going to go into the closet and say, well, let me grab this navy blue shirt, get it out and say, whoa, no, this is the black one. Which, by the way, I don't figure out until I go over to the window and hold it up to daylight. Even artificial light in the house will not do that for me. I need sunlight to tell black from navy. Yeah. At one point, somewhere down the road, I am going to have to eliminate one of those colors from my wardrobe because it's just getting too difficult to distinguish. But that day is not today. So, I find that although I consider that extremely useful advice for most people, it's not useful for me. However, it might not be useful for everyone because some people might need to do a massive retrofit in their closet to get lighting in there. Other people may be living in rental properties where they cannot do that. You're simply not going to be allowed. And those self-stick tap lights can be very effective. However, you get a self-stick tap light and you are using the LED bulbs. LED bulbs tend to distort colors. So you're going in, you're looking at this sort of white light, and it's shining down on your clothing, and you're thinking to yourself, is that shirt red or maroon? And you don't know which is which. So, yeah, if you're going to do something like that, try to get daylight bulbs. They don't need to be like full spectrum daylight bulbs because I know those are expensive. But a bulb that simulates daylight, yeah, I would go for that, absolutely, because artificial lighting can distort colors very badly. Now, the exception to this is you work in an office with fluorescent lighting, then yeah, fluorescent lighting in your closet is just fine because most of your day is going to be spent under fluorescent lighting. The only people who are going to be able to see you in daylight are the people who watch you walk into the office and then walk out of the office at the end of the day. So maybe that would make sense. I do think if you can do it, you should do it. I also think that anything you can do to keep your closet clean and organized is something, if you should do it, you can do it. Strike that, reverse it. So I would say that lighting is important. Making sure your clothes are presentable, that they're not wrinkled, they're not stained, they're in good shape. That is important. I would also say, absolutely, this can be done the night before. Keeping your jewelry polished. Now, that was another one that Madam Robinson raised. That is not something I will do the night before. That is something I do every couple of months, pull everything out. You know, it's like on the kitchen table mostly, you know, where I can spread out. And I will start cleaning things. It's not that difficult. You know, you just sort of make a day of it. And if you do that reasonably often, twice a year, by the way, I'm not talking about every weekend. Twice a year is probably often enough. Everything will look good. Some pieces, not so much. Untreated silver, so silver that doesn't have like a finish on it, that will tarnish quickly and easily. I'm sure there are other metals that also don't hold up, but for the most part, twice a year is pretty much all it's going to take. Do you need to worry about this the night before? No. I would say that is one of the tips I would pull aside and throw it in with the check your shoes and make sure they are clean and shined and everything is in good order. And you probably won't need to do that more than twice a year. And there are other things in your closet that will probably only need occasional attention like this. But yeah, I think overall, Madam Robinson has given us some very, very good advice. But again, I'm going to tell you, doing things the night before is going to save you all of this trouble in the morning. Are you still going to have to do it? Well, of course you are. You know, if your clothing needs to be steamed or ironed or whatever, yeah, you're going to have to do it sooner or later. But it's so much easier to do it the night before. And do try my little water spritz trick. Next time you are putting your clothes together for an outfit the night before and something looks like it might be a little wrinkled, spritz it with a little water, leave it in the bathroom overnight. And I promise you, it will be fine in the morning because this is basically 95% of my clothing care consists of that bottle of water. All right. Audie did not come out to see us, unfortunately. I am going to continue this video tomorrow. So I'm going to stop this, prep this video for uploading, and then continue because this whole episode led me down a rabbit hole, and I thought I would share that with you. So we will be back tomorrow. Meantime, we are going to take a look at a slideshow on the way out. Have a terrific day.